Willow Creek Springs presents Healthy Living with your host, Joe Grumbine.
Hello and welcome to the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine, and today we're going to have episode 16 of the series Overcoming Cancer and Other Obstacles. And this is kind of just an update since last week. I haven't done an episode in a week, and I realized that today and the last episode we did, I talked about getting back onto the cannabis oil. Well, that's one of the issues with the cannabis oil, as it's an amazing medicine, and I can feel it working. But can I feel it working? But I think one of the things to remember, whatever kind of a therapy you're doing, when people do chemo and radiation, there's um downsides to that, meaning, getting sick and having your body kind of fall apart and all the things that happen, and in my opinion are so detrimental that I wouldn't want to do that. Even natural remedies, natural medicines, natural treatments, they've got their downsides too, in the sense of you got to sometimes pay the price for medicine. Like, for example, did you ever notice that most, or I don't know if it's most, but certainly a huge amount of compounds and medicines that are good for you are bitter and kind of nasty tasting? And I just think to yourself, why is that? And I don't know. I don't have the answer to it. I just know that I work with a number of different medicinal teas, and even peyote is, really very bitter tasting. Cacao is very bitter. So many compounds that we take, but especially these tea herbs. My God, they taste like I don't know, like a cactus. Anyways, why is that? I don't know. It's some kind of a side effect. With the cannabis, you just get this overwhelming, I don't know, heaviness, and like a feeling like you just want to go to sleep or not do anything. And um it's making it tough for me because I'm pushing hard to keep myself strong and keep moving, and I'm trying to move my business, and I'm trying to get the nonprofit rolling and meeting with a lot of people. And the sharp mind has been my ally, and that's one of the reasons I've been working with combo and peyote and different therapies that are you know good about inner reflection and things like that, but not heavy. And yesterday was kind of a crazy day, so I've been taking a really good sized dose at night for the most part, and then I take a little bit throughout the day with these drops that I've made, going right to the back of my throat where the cancer is located. And been doing all right. I just feel like most of the time I'm a little slower than usual. Like, my reaction time when somebody says something, I got to take a minute to process it, or second. It's just a quick half second. But people can tell. There's no way that the energy levels significantly lower, the effort to respond, to be sharp. It's a lot more work to do those things, and then it's so easy to just not think about things and to let something go for another day or whatever. Anything that you're not, that struggle, that difficult thing you need to do, that when you get yourself psyched up, you're like, okay, let's go, let's do it. And this one's like, yeah, maybe tomorrow. And I've got a regimen where most days I get up around 4 o'clock in the morning, and I have things that I do, whether it's a workout or a hike or different things that I do. And yesterday I had set my alarm, and I was going to get up and do my deal, and I just was like still completely loaded, and I was said, well, maybe not today. And then I got up like an hour later and I turned the coffee on and I'm like, oh, I'm still real tired. And so I went back to bed and eventually my wife actually got up and made her own coffee, which never happens. I'm always the one. I make the coffee. I make her coffee. And so she has that. That's a little thing I've always done for a long time. And I just couldn't get my ass out of bed. I was just laying there. So she ended up making her own coffee. And I just all day long, I didn't do anything yesterday in the sense of um, I did no medicine. And I still, through the whole day, we had guests over and we did a tour. We did some volunteer work. And through the whole thing, I was just in a cloud. And I didn't eat anything yesterday. I wasn't even hungry. Had a couple little pieces of bread, and I'm, always hungry. I'm always, um, my diet's a big part of this whole regimen. So I think something to be mindful of if you're going through this is that I've noticed, and it's been happening, I don't know, maybe every once or twice a month, I'll get these just low energy days, and I'm not used to that. I mean, I'm always a high energy guy, and I wake up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to get out and get some stuff done. And so this has been I think it's part of you know listening to my body, and that's I have prayed for that and done medicine to be connected to my body, and I think that that's what's happening more and more. And so when I feel tired, rather than resist it and try to pound through it, I've decided, you know what, my body wants to rest, we'll let it rest. And when I've got energy, I get up and pound it. So I don't know, I think that's an important piece of the puzzle, and it's something that, I'm learning to surrender a little bit instead of fight everything all the time. And I think in doing so, it opens up the ability for me to hear what's going on with my own body. And, this is all about the truth. This is all about not just what I want to see happen, but it's about what is happening. I want to be able to teach people and show people what I did to solve this, but it needs to be the truth, all of it. And so, as I'm paying attention to these things happening and hopefully having more to offer as we're moving forward, this is one of these truths. Now, another piece of the puzzle, I got an opportunity. Kristen, the one who connected me with this other doctor in Palm Springs and donated this magnetic device. She also connected me with a doctor in Encinitas who does a different type of ozone therapy treatment called EBU. And this is like a dialysis in the sense of they take blood out of you in your one side and they run it up through this machine and it ozonates the blood and it runs it through a series of filters, kind of like a dialysis, and it scrubs parasites and different things. And then I think they hit it with UV light, and the whole idea is that it's treating your blood, and apparently, and then they turn around and put it right back in the other side. And so, as I've read a few studies and understanding a little bit more about ozone therapy and what it is and how it works and what it does and doesn't do, this is supposedly the most effective treatment, and it doesn't require, many treatments like the regular 10 pass ozone that the guy in Palm Spring was trying to sell me. I was going to need to do 10 sessions within, I think, 2 weeks. And so that would mean I'd have to go down to Palm Springs, close to 2 hour drive each way, and then be gone, do the treatment for 2 hours. So you're looking at about a minimum of an 8 hour session, cost of gas, the cost of the treatment, and dang, and that's a big part of all of this stuff too. It's like people are like, oh, you just got to do this. Oh, you just got to do that. And it's like, yeah, well, maybe you're right. You're right. We just got to do this and just got to do that. But when you stack it on top of everything and you got to find a way to have the energy, the time, the wherewithal, and sometimes, now I'm understanding a little more why I've seen people not want to fight. Not that I don't want to fight, but I can see the stress and the effort that it takes to fight. And I can see how people are just not willing to put forth that kind of an effort. And it's sad because I've known a lot of people that refused to do the oil treatment because they said it was just too much. And I never could understand it. I say, well, you'd rather die. And the reality is it's when something's too much of an effort for some people, they're just like, yeah, you know what, whatever. I'm not willing to work that hard. I'm not willing to try that much. And I think it's important if you're going to decide to stand up and fight this, realize it's going to be a battle. You need to summon your energy. You need to bring it together and figure out where it's going to come from. That's where the support team is so important. If you got people bagging on you while you're trying to stand up and fight, it's a million times harder. Um, having good people around you that care, um, are there to actually help you. Big, big, big difference. So, anyways, this EBU treatment, unfortunately for me right now, it costs $1,100 a pop, and I'm, trying to solve that problem in life right now. So, um, I don't know. I'm gonna maybe decide to go and do a session and just borrow the money, but I don't want to. I don't know. I'm weighing this one out right now. Anyways, this would be kind of a short update, but just remember that cannabis oil, it works great, but it can whoop your ass. Be ready for it. All right. We'll talk to y'all next time.
This has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. We produce this show so that people can share their stories, people that have overcome obstacles, people that are undergoing obstacles. We're building a community of health-minded individuals. If you're interested in supporting the show, please leave a review on the platform you're listening to it on. If you're interested in becoming a guest, please send an email to itsjoegrumbine@gmail.com, or you can send a note into the notes section of the podcast. All right. Well, thank you for supporting this show, and we hope you've enjoyed it.